Greetings, everyone. This is Audra Johnson, CEO of The Enterprising Woman, where we are about all things entrepreneur. I am also your go-to and subject matter expert for small business and independent business startups and all things cleaning. I am also the founder of AMJ Empowerment Outreach, where we educate, motivate, inspire, and encourage. So this message is a 2-for-1 on today because they both serve a dual purpose on both of my YouTube pages. If you like the content that you hear, I ask that you would please consider sharing, and subscribing, and I appreciate you so much. Today, I want to talk about the New World Order in a different way, in the way that they are attempting to try to advance their agendas concerning the reset. I've talked about how they're actually engaging towards the economy as we see shortages and we see a lot of things in the earth. Now, I was actually doing some studying and research on the rapid home COVID test. Those were in plenteous availability at one time, but we see the holidays will be approaching here very soon in the United States. And we know that even as of today, if you're current, there was an article released about the state of California going in stricter measures in terms of proof of the V verification. Again, those of you that have followed me know I talk in parables, so you should be able to know what the V means. But they are taking greater measures. In the state of California, they are in the process of implementing, lobbying, and moving toward forcing proof of the V status when going to restaurants, gyms, clubs, parties, and really almost every major public place, arenas, sports events. They really want to push their agenda. So, it got me to thinking, because again, with me being from there, that being my home state, that I really, really, love, along with, this wonderful US of A, because even despite all that's going on, there's great opportunity here, yet and still. You just have to know how to search it out. But back to the subject at hand here. I'm going to share something with you as it relates to these home tests. Because, see, we know that there's a couple of different reasons and clauses and exemptions that people can claim to avoid the V. One of them is, of course, religious reasons. There are a couple of cultures that I'm not going to name right now. They're not being forced. They refuse to be forced. I'll rephrase that. They refuse to be forced into this. But it's because they've already set up historically and generationally their lifestyle to be somewhat self-sufficient and independent from the world systems. So it doesn't matter how much the world system tries to squeeze this culture in its mold. They are already set up to survive. So, again, we know that historically places where the V was regulated, it was always said that, if you choose not to participate, you must test negative up to 3 days, and even as early as 24 hours prior to traveling to certain countries or traveling back. So, having a rapid test at your home, that would make it so much more convenient to go ahead and do, right? Gives you much more control as a consumer. Now, as far as confidentiality and all of that and proof of verification of things, that's not something that I'm 100% versed on, but I know it's very convenient. I know people that took advantage of it this summer when they were traveling, because they were traveling via car to see family members and relatives that had new babies, and they were extremely concerned about, the visitors testing negative if they were not vaccinated. So you know, this individual in the state of New York, he took time to just go out and look for these rapid tests. Now, all of a sudden, they're becoming more scarce. Okay? And, you know, in their research, they even discovered that they went all over, could not locate any in a metropolitan city of New York, by the way. So they just, you know, went on Amazon really quick to see if they could find some there. And they did find a package of them, and they were well over $1,000 for like a little under 100 tests. So, you know, they found it to be quite interesting and went further into their research to discover that, you know, there are many other countries that have learned and adapted to the mindset that, you know, if they can't live without the after effects of the pandemic, they're going to live with it. And they're going to live with it by continuing, of course, with precaution, of course, you know, being as safe as possible. But, you know, the other countries that I'm about to name to you, they're refusing to allow their lives to be run by this virus. So there are countries such as, you know, Europe, France, and there are a few other that they actually have those tests in very plenteous, high quantity amounts. So this individual, they reached over to someone in another country that was a friend of theirs, you know, just to chop it up and share the factual information that they discovered when they were searching for this in New York. And so, you know, their friend overseas said, oh, I'll be more than happy to ship over some. You know, they had plenty. And so, you know, it was really just a litmus test by the individual in New York to just see. But count it not strange that these rapid home tests are becoming scarce. Count it not strange of the timing that they are becoming scarce. You know, between now and the end of the calendar year on the world calendar, don't be surprised at what you'll hear. Don't be surprised at the quote-unquote threats that are made via news reports, via all methods of media platforms. You know, one of the reasons why platforms and television and media in its entirety is a main vehicle that's used, you know, promoting this particular agenda in the way it does is because, you know, anybody knows that there's power in vision. So they know that if they keep the very thing that they want as far as the world system, their agenda before you, it's almost like a little 2-year-old who's pulling on your shirt, begging you for something. Eventually, just to get peace, you're going to go ahead and give in. You're going to give in to the piece of candy. You're going to give in, excuse me, oh gosh, forgive me. You're going to give in to what they want. And I say not you, but the majority of people do. So I stand corrected. But, you know, there are a lot of us that are really vigilant about truly taking a stand against our freedoms being violated, the censorship that continues to go forth and take place. So this is really somewhat of a precautionary word, a precautionary message to everyone that's viewing. To be sober, to be vigilant, and also to prepare. You know, I was looking at, you know, in the stores, and of course we see the little gaps here and there, and again, there's power in vision. But it seems as if this round people aren't as frantic because, okay, we lived through the wave a year and a half plus ago. But a lot of these man-made shortages, the goal is to try to ensue fear. My recommendation to anybody, I don't care how much money you have, live a very minimalistic lifestyle. I've lived very minimalistically for years. And I live that way for a reason. Not trying to act like I don't have nice things. I have nice things, and I believe in us treating ourselves. You know, we are here, and the Bible tells us that we should enjoy the fruits of our labor, but he also wants us to use wisdom. So, with that being said, for the holidays, those that are entertaining, there's nothing wrong with having one meat, one starch, one vegetable, some desserts. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do, but I do want people to know it's better to use wisdom and stretch out your funds, because you don't know what's going to happen specifically over the next few months. Doesn't mean to get fearful either, because I'm really excited. I'm excited about all these things because God has shown me some things prophetically. So when you take precaution and you plan and you prepare, you're ready for the experiences that are to come. This new world order and agenda, the global reset and everything, it's prophetic. It's prophetic. But if you prepare, if you learn how to work together, if you truly walk circumspectly, not foolish, but with wisdom, you'll make it through this. And truth be told, it's going to be a lot of us. We're going to actually gain increase through it. See, we hate the lives and the damage that this has done to people. But the pandemic has been good to some of us. It might sound weird to some of you, but I stand to say the pandemic has been good to me in many ways. I'm grateful for that. And what I mean is some of the effects outside of, again, what it has done to humanity, what it has done to reduce population, what it has done to try to control. I'm talking about other benefits that I really am not at liberty to discuss. And I'm not the only one. There are a lot of people who have been blessed by some of the things that became available to them as a result of the pandemic. So, you know, everybody stay strong. Remember that as long as you're here, the Father is not done with you. As long as you're still here, He has a good and perfect plan for you. So, remember that at the end of the day, the Father settles all accounts. He's totally, and I have to just keep saying it, He's totally well aware of what's going on. So everybody stay safe. Use wisdom in everything you do. And I wish and pray all the best for you. Until we talk again, blessings.